Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here today with another episode of Ya Boy Kongming. So, last episode, it was kinda okay. To be honest, I wasn't really the biggest fan of the setup, the scenario, the situations they got themselves in. I felt like both the title itself and the sort of, I don't know, it seemed to be manufacturing drama out of nowhere and not really I don't know, it just didn't really hit that much with me. So let's just move on, because what's important right now is that at the end of last episode, it seems that they've attracted the attention of some big shots, right? And my guess is that's either going to be a music producer for a label, or it's going to be like an organizer for a large music festival or music event or something of that sort, right? I don't think it's a scout, because a scout would be working more on the lonesome and not like with a bunch of people and whatnot. But is it true or not? Well, let's just get into the episode and find out. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, so this is basically the beginning of the Three Kingdoms period. I guess that would be 太史慈. And the first four words, first four kanji of that would be the Chinese characters for 无中生有, which is creating something out of nothing. So Yoyogi, I actually forgot to mention this last episode, but Yoyogi is a pretty famous place for music arts, music acts. In the past, it's sort of like been heralded as the beginning for a lot of idol groups and for a lot of bands as well. But I heard that they've kind of stopped music performances in the park because, or at least street performances, and like these kinds of performances where they can still, have a stage and whatnot. Those are still allowed, but street performances have been banned, I believe. It's funny because last episode I mentioned that this sounded something like, the mixing and whatnot really sounded like something from 2012, at least according to my memory. That's the time when they really had the global music scene, especially in Korea, really had a lot of these disco songs that implemented like modern style of producing. So basically, the core beats are retro, but the producing is modern. And as it turns out, the original song for this actually came out in 2013. So music is global, right? Chiki chiki bam bam. Chan chan chiki chiki bam bam. In fact, I keep thinking whether or not I've heard this song before. Even before this Ya Boy Kongming. Alright, who are you? The organizer? Wait. Okay, so he's a festival producer, right? So probably the next festival. No, of course not. Why are you talking like you're a foreigner? There we go. That's the Twitter. That's the Twitter influence that I was waiting for. Look, dude, your name is Japanese. You are not a foreigner. Why is she talking in a foreign accent? Uh, or is she just trying to speak like in a lower voice? But for some reason, like she sounds like a foreigner trying to pronounce Japanese. Ooh. Okay, so now they can choose, eh? Oh, Summer Sonia. Don't choose that one. You're not ready for that yet. Although, fortune favors the bold. I feel like she needs a little bit more time, though. She needs to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. I don't like that because I feel like artists shouldn't rush these kinds of things. What's really important for her at this point is she needs to gain more stage presence. She needs to gain experience in terms of working the crowds, right? Like right now, the biggest, like even right now, with two victories in her under her belt, she's only been able to draw in like maybe a few hundred people at most. They, I mean, sure, you can choose that, right? But definitely, it's not just gonna be directly performing there. I wonder if it's possible to go to both. She's gonna choose. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. Why do you know English? Okay. Yeah, you. Oh my god, they are. He is such a troll. Such a goddamn troll. Of course, his name is in Japanese. Oh my god. Oh, like I said, such a goddamn troll. The road to 100,000 likes is to perform more. Of course, you're not going to be one whose flow makes a DJ? A rapper? A rapper? Okay. Hmm. I wonder if that's why the ending song to this is Kiban Jojo by Mihamaru GT. Because they want to instead form her into like a unit with vocals and a rapper. It's quite a common sort of combo in Japan, actually. I do think though, and this is something I mentioned last episode as well. Well, as a retainer, you're still supposed to go through like all your plans with your liege. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. We kept going, getting all the hotties. Hey, that's a good attitude to have, right? If nothing else, at least train. Okay. Roppongi, eh? So, party in Roppongi? The vibe in Roppongi is definitely a lot different than that in Shibuya and Shinjuku and whatnot. Although mostly, it's more. There's much more foreigner influence in Roppongi. And honestly, like, disregarding the clubs, I actually quite like the vibes there. Like, the departments and whatnot, the streets there, beyond the actual, like, club places. It's actually quite nice. Man, Kongming is just such a. Yeah, see, like I said, there's a large foreigner influence in Roppongi. See, I don't completely agree with this kind of thing. Especially even like in the actual historical Kongming. No, he made sure to lay out his intentions. Of course, you could argue that there are only those that need to know, right? But as his lead, she definitely has a need to know. Monghua. This is also quite. Yeah, what Kongming is talking here, Qiqing is also a story from Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Oh, you prepared? Why is he such a natural at all this? Oh, so it's the rapper here? Oh. Yeah, that's the fan there. Are you actually going to, like, consider him part of the team as well? You gotta say that, though. Honestly, I don't know like what this one is. I know that Summer Sonia is Summer Sonic. I don't know what Voice Island. I think they mentioned before that it's a large EDM festival in Europe, so I'm sorry, I don't know about it. No music, no life. No music, no life. Oh. Yeah, so she does have original songs. Actually, I believe one of you guys mentioned to me that the songs that she's been singing until now apparently aren't supposed to be originals. I mean, I'm a little bit. I don't know about that, but. Hmm. Hmm. And they're going to produce this into like more of a EDM genre of music. Yeah, this is a very vocal focused song. Roppongi Udonya. That's the uh that's the temporary title for this song. Roppongi Udonya. Udon place in Roppongi. Alright. I will see you guys after this. Alright guys, so there's quite a few things to talk about in this episode, so let's go through it chronologically, shall we? First of all, that dude that we saw at the end of last episode, so it does turn out that he is an organizer for music festivals, and, you know, this is a chance for Eiko, right? And first of all, he is such a troll, like, trying to pretend that he's, you know, he's a foreigner or something, and even, like, asking the lady to talk for him, and yet talking in such a, with an accent that kind of seems like a foreigner speaking Japanese, and yet actually, you know, he's completely Japanese. I mean, we knew it just from his name alone, right? So such a troll. But anyways, the opportunity that was given to Eiko here, I think we should focus on that a little bit more. Now, I'm of the opinion that, aiming high, that's great, right? But it all depends on perspective. I do believe that Eiko, as she is right now, is not prepared for the big stage. Now, yes, I did say before in my previous episodes that if you really want to do it, Summer Sonia is obviously a play on Summer Sonic, the festival in Japan that's held in summertime. And in the Summer Sonic stages, during the Summer Sonic events, there's big stages and there's little stages. Kind of similar to the event that Eiko was just at last episode, right? And you got the huge stages, the ones that can draw like tens of thousands of people, and then there's the small stages, which have like hundreds of people around them. So sure, you can go to that. You can be one of the performers, one of the artists at a smaller stage. That's no problem. But I feel like what's important for Eiko right now is trying to gradually work her way up and really get to at least a middle stage or a large stage, right? And in order to do that, she needs to gain more experience. She needs to expand her repertoire. Like at this point, we still don't know like what exactly her repertoire consists of. Like, is she singing cover songs? Is she singing original songs? In this episode, we finally get a glimpse of her original song. At least it's confirmed that it's original song. I don't know like whether the songs she sang before are supposed to be covers or whatnot. You're not going to be able to get onto that stage with just covers, right? You need your original songs. So that's one thing. Your stage presence, how to work the crowd and whatnot. Like, sure, she has the charisma, like she has the natural sort of positivity towards her. We saw that in the last 2 episodes as well. She was talking directly with the audience, talking directly with the fans and whatnot. Working a crowd of like thousands of people, that is completely different. If you go through like a lot of what's if you follow like idol groups, for example, because idol groups, they have more of a documentary of their learning process and whatnot. They talk a lot about how it's so different performing in front of like a close crowd, like a few hundred people, where people can see you clearly, right? And when they dance, when they sing, when they shout to the audience, it's easy for the audience to see them, for them to see the audience, to get instant feedback, right? And that gets gradually harder and harder the larger the crowd is. So that needs time, that needs experience. You need to work your way up. You can't just suddenly jump up there, willy-nilly. It doesn't matter like how much singing talent you have. It's having stage presence is just as important as your innate talent when you're talking about performances like this one. So that's why, to me, like, sure, I actually kind of foresaw that she was going to choose the larger one, because otherwise, we gotta add some urgency to this entire thing, right? But honestly, the more correct thing definitely would have been to first step up to a larger stage, like for a scale similar to this one, but maybe a larger stage and whatnot, and then gradually work your way up from hundreds of people to thousands of people, and eventually to 10,000 people, and then once you get to that point, then you make your large stage debut in Summer Sonia, right? But we shall see, right? Even considering all this, I'm sure that in order to get the 100,000 likes that she is supposed to get, they are going to have to perform in some other festivals or appear in some other stages or whatnot, right? I definitely don't see them just directly training and directly getting onto that stage right then and there. I'm sure that there are other things that's going to happen in between where Kongming helps Eiko gradually work towards that goal. So not too worried about that at this point. We'll see how exactly he goes about it. And talking about like the usage of social media and whatnot in order to get out there, like this is also, I wouldn't really say this is like a modern thing or something that's happening nowadays. Even like from 10 years ago, right? A lot of these sort of indie acts or these underground bands, they got their following through word of mouth, and especially in Japan. This was something that I wanted to talk about that I forgot to talk about last episode, right? They made this huge emphasis on Eiko having her Instagram and getting likes on Instagram, getting followers on Instagram. I would argue that perhaps even as close as 5 or 8 years ago, the social media site in question would have been Twitter, because Twitter is super huge in Japan, and that's actually how a lot of more underground or indie bands got their breakthrough into the mainstream, by word of mouth, through using social media, especially Twitter, and then by using Twitter, blowing up, and then gradually getting more and more recognition and more fans. Now they've basically modernized this practice with Instagram, so in any case, they're gonna have to do some things in order to get people to talk about them, right? So perform, get into different shows, get into different festivals. You know, you gotta go out there. You gotta work it, right? So I'm sure that that's what they are going to be doing. Are they going to stage like some stunt to get viral? I don't know. And I guess that kind of brings me into the second point that I want to make this episode and that I keep on talking about is, you know, what exactly is Kongming's like long-term plan, long-term strategy here. Now, I do fully feel that if you do want to say that you have a sort of like a liege and retainer sort of relationship, you gotta be open with your liege, right? It's sort of like a partnership. You should talk to each other and you know, Kongming, you should lay out your long-term strategy, your long-term plans, and you know, ask, you know, put out the plan for Eiko and ask her to follow it, right? You can't, you gotta give her direction. Like, sure, like right now he's saying that all you need to do is concentrate on your own singing and whatnot, but even if that were the case, then you gotta communicate that with her first, right? You don't just like leave her there and then, you know, allow her to do, you know, and then think that she can just do this as she is and not have any worries or whatnot. So I don't quite like that kind of a relationship. Honestly, this to me feels more like a manager and agent kind of relationship, right? Like a lot of music acts in the past, they would have managers that really made decisions independent of the artist's decision or their knowledge, right? Because on the, you know, for these managers who are under either talent agencies or record labels, they believe that they know best, and they basically shape the artist, they shape the musician in the way that they want to, according to what they feel is going to bring them the most fame, success, profitability, etc., right? But I don't know, I just feel like this is more, it's not really a healthy working relationship. So I do hope that in the future, you know, we can get to see them, Eiko and Kongming, you know, basically communicate a lot more and really work together as a team. You know, it's great and all to share your dreams, right? To share your aspirations and to have reassurance that yes, I'll stay by your side and, you know, let's work together towards a common goal. But beyond that, right? Beyond that sort of like high level dream goals oriented stuff, you know, your action plan. You gotta lay out your action plan and communicate that to each other. So that's something I do hope that we will be seeing more of in the future. Like, even at this point, us as an audience, you know, we don't know what exactly is going to be happening from this point, right? I guess in a view, like, because this is a media, this is a manga / anime, we're supposed to be kind of like wowed by it at the same time, and they are going for more of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms version of Kongming, which is sort of like this you know, strategic mastermind who always has a plan up his sleeve, and you know, anytime when we reach unexpected situations, it seems that all hope is lost, he's going to be like, aha, I have a plan, you have activated my trap card or something like that. So they're going for more of that sort of fictional version of Kongming, so I can kind of see like why they want to do it like this, and just to sort of like place emphasis on how smart Kongming is and how much of a strategic brilliance he is. But you know, from a realistic standpoint, I'm more so meh on that kind of thing here. So that's the second big point that I want to talk about, which is, you know, the sort of lack of communication between these two. The rest, I guess the third part would actually be, let me think about this for a moment. I was going to talk a little bit about, you know, the fact that they're going to be adding a rapper, and now Eiko clearly has her own original song. I am wondering how far are they going to continue to take this EDM thing, right? But I do feel like that is the genre that they are going for, and that is a genre that Eiko herself likes. So even though this song, like we saw in the ending, I feel like it would have worked great just as a more acoustic oriented ballad or whatnot. I'm sure they're going to remix it, add some modern production, add some EDM elements to it, and make it into more of an upbeat song. And in order for that, well, it seems that right now is Kongming, like, he's certainly not that unfamiliar with music mixing at this point, right? We can clearly see him learning and and messing around with this kind of thing. But since they already had mentioned the topic of human resources, right? They're already getting a rapper. Kongming has already recruited one of Eiko's fans to be like their video editor, right? Well, that's also super important. If you want to be viral on social media, you gotta have like the good editing and stuff, right? So there's that. So are they going to also get like a producer as well to produce the music and mix the music, etc., etc.? And are we going to actually see like the team grow, right? And if the team grows, are we actually going to see them as a team working together and have that feeling of camaraderie and togetherness, right? Because that's also a large part of how many of these real life artists, and if you take a look at their stories, and see how they grow, right? They a lot of them always have this really tight-knit group of you could in essence view it like as a startup or whatnot. Everybody is pitching in and betting on the artist themselves, betting on the artist. They believe that this artist is going to be something great, and so they're willing to even work for peanuts and whatnot. But they all band together, stick together, right? Even when like resources are short, money is short, time and manpower is short, but they tough it through. And then a lot of these stories that eventually these artists would talk about when they get large is the early days, how they all work together. And indeed, it's like some of the stuff that I love to see the most is when these artists that have hit it big, they're still retaining the same crew that they had when they first started out, right? And it's just that they're gradually all working together and growing into larger and larger stages. I love that kind of story. So I'm not sure if that's something that they are necessarily going to be doing in this anime, but I guess we'll have to see about that. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say for now. To be honest, it was kind of like a calm episode, if you will, since we didn't really get to see any other performance or whatnot. Yeah, I think I'm going to be watching another episode immediately after this, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next one.